Alright, in this video I'm going to demonstrate how to draw Lewis structures for covalent compounds. So we learned how to draw Lewis diagrams, or dot diagrams, and these are diagrams that show the valence electrons. So a Lewis structure is actually using the electrons and showing how the electrons are being shared in a covalent compound. So I'm just going to give you a couple of examples, and all the ones that I will ask you to do are going to be fairly simple Lewis structures. So let's just go ahead and start with a very simple one. It's water, which is H2O. So water is two hydrogens. So each hydrogen has one valence electron. So I'm going to actually put those electrons in green so we can see the difference. And then we have oxygen, which has 6 valence electrons. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so you can see that oxygen has 2 electrons that are unpaired. It needs 2 more electrons in order to be whole. So what ends up happening is hydrogen comes along and he shares over here, and then another hydrogen comes along and shares over here. So if I'm going to draw the Lewis structure for it, I would put oxygen's electrons, and then I'm going to put hydrogen right up next to the oxygen, and let me color those hydrogen green. Okay, so you can see that by sharing, hydrogen then is full with 2. Remember, it only has 1 shell, so it's happening full with 2. And then each of the oxygens, or the oxygen, has 8 valence electrons. All right, let me do another example. So let's do NH3. Okay, so nitrogen has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 valence electrons because it's in the 5th column. And then if you have 3 hydrogens, each with 1 valence electron, in order for nitrogen to be full, it needs 3 more to share. So it'll come along, and this hydrogen will hook up and share with each one of those. And so the Lewis structure that we'll be left with is nitrogen, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My hydrogen here, here, and here. And then the hydrogen electrons will pair, pair, pair. So that is the Lewis structure for NH3. So the nitrogen then has 8 with the sharing, and then each hydrogen has 2 with the sharing. Okay. Let's try one more. So on this side, I'm going to do phosphorus trichloride, or PCl3. So phosphorus is also in the 5th column. So phosphorus is going to have 5 valence electrons. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And chlorine is in the 7th column. So each of these chlorines are going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3. Oh, let me do them in green so we can see them. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So each chlorine needs 1 electron to be full, and phosphorus needs a total of 3 to be full. So if this unpaired comes and shares here, and this unpaired comes and shares here, and this pair comes and shares here, then what we end up with for a Lewis structure is phosphorus, 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to have our chlorines around the outside, and one of them is going to share, and then it has its other, and then one of them shares there, and then one of them shares there, and then every single one of them is full with 8. So this one has 8, and this one has 8, and the phosphorus has 8, and the other chlorine has 8. Okay? Now, on the worksheet that you're going to do in class, there might be some more difficult ones, and those I will assist you in doing. They have multiple bonds, and you can ask me individual questions if you run into trouble with some of those harder ones.